or Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well and teach the correct doctrine. And I want to give a sincere shalom to the elect out there teaching his truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Okay, Brother Yasharan, and this is an exhortation, man, and a warning. You know, as everyone who's been paying attention can see, the Lord is really exposing a lot of guys right now. A lot of false prophets, so on and so forth. A lot of guys that ain't right. Okay, he's revealing a lot of secret things. The scriptures say that there shall not be that which that there shall be that which is hid, that shall be made known. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, and Lord willing, I'll research that. There should be nothing hid that shall not be known. Okay, and one of the main things that's going on that you could see in the spirit is a lot of guys have succumbed to fleshly lusts. Okay, they've let those lusts get the best of them. Okay, with the most recent thing being Elazar. Okay, and it just keeps looking worse and worse for him. Okay, to the point where I don't even know why he's showing his face on camera right now. Okay, if that ever came out about me, I don't think I'd show my face on camera. Okay, and that's another demon besides the ones that we're gonna go over in in this lesson. Okay, the justification demon. It's another one going around in Israel right now. Okay, so I went into Chat GPT and I said, name some lust and lascivious demons that plague people, and it said, and many biblical, apocryphal, and historical demonologies, especially those influenced by Christian, Jewish, and occult traditions, certain spirits or demons are associated with lust, lasciviousness, and sexual temptation. Okay? And this is going on a lot in Israel, man. Brothers losing uh, focus on the work, paying too much attention to these women, and if you look at what's going on in the society, there's a lot of strong sexual magic put out there. Okay, and it just keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. Here are some commonly named ones. We're supposed to have control over sexual temptation too, man. Okay, the scriptures talk about if you pretty much if you lust after a woman, okay, you that has a husband, you pretty much already committed adultery. It's in fact, let's get that real quick. This is Matthew 5:27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, that thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. Okay? And this really goes into what the apostles were saying, man, about not going to them clubs and bars and shit, man. Okay? And being in that partying spirit. Was because, you know, when you're in that kind of situation, in that kind of place, which you have no business being in, okay, you're lusting after all the women in there, man, in that vicinity, okay, and a lot of those women have men, you know. See, we need to understand the society that we're living in, okay. Now, obviously, lusting after a woman who's not married or have a man or is betrothed is not actually adultery, okay. But if you're looking at a woman to lust after her and desire her, and she has a man, well, a lot of the times these you don't even know, okay. And that doesn't mean that should just have you know wandering eyes all over the place just because you're in an area where you don't know any women, but yet they may be dressing like hoes and shit, man. Okay, this is why, like I said, the apostles gave the order about not going to clubs and and pretty much being in that party spirit, man. Because because when you're in those places, you pretty much have no choice but to commit adultery. Adultery with your eyes, man. We're continuing on. Uh, let's get into one of the demons here, or some of the demons. I'm just gonna read this list and then, you know, bring some scriptures out, and I may ask ChatGPT for more information on some of these fucking demons, man. Asmodeus, and this is one that's really going around, and this spirit is really going around in Israel right now. Tradition, Judeo-Christian, Apocrypha, Book of Tobit, the role, the demon of lust, and this is going on all over the place in Israel, man. Okay, this is going on all over the place in Israel, associated with destroying marriages and inflaming carnal desire. Notes said to have slain the 7 husbands of Sarah in the book of Tobit before Tobias overcame. Lilith, number 2, tradition, and again, a lot of these are just idols. The gods of the nations are idols, but still, there's these are pretty much spirits out there. Jewish mysticism, Talmudic and Kabbalistic, the seductress demon, succubus, associated with night and unclean sexual desire. A lot of these women have the spirit of Lilith on them, man. Note, sometimes referred to as Adam's first wife in Jewish legend, represents unchecked female sexuality. And this is why the Apocrypha, okay, instructs us not to give a woman liberty to gad abroad. Okay, that's because then they end up with unchecked female sexuality, especially in a society like this that empowers them. Okay, this is pretty much the seductress demon, man. And a lot of men out there, especially Jake, he easily gives in to a seductress. You know, that simp demon jumps on him. I'm gonna add a demon to this list. That simp demon jumps on him through the seductress demon. Okay, he turns into a fucking simp. All right, and the scriptures say that through uh, wine and women, a man of understanding shall fall away. Okay, Belial. And we know this one. This is in this. This is one that's actually in the scriptures. Okay, unlike Lilith, uh, tradition, the Bible, especially in apocryphal texts and demonology, role embodiment of wickedness and lawlessness. Okay, often tied to perversion and unbridled sensuality. Okay, right? Pretty much sexual lawlessness, man. Immorality, right? Debauchery. Okay. The next one is Astaroth, Astarte, and Ishtar. Okay, which was is what otherwise known as Semiramis, Semiramis, right? Which was the mother of Tammuz. Okay, tradition, ancient Canaanite and Mesopotamian roots, adopted into Christian demonology. The role is the goddess demon of lust, fertility, and war, later demonized as a prince of hell, often associated with seduction and corruption of morals. And a lot of these wicked holidays in this kingdom are centered around this demon right here, man. Okay? Now, Amma, tradition is Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. The role is a female demon who seduces men and causes erotic dreams, sometimes grouped with Lilith as a succubus or night demon. Number six, the incubus and succubus. Christian medieval demonology. The role is the male incubus and female succubus demons that seduce and have intercourse with humans in dreams. Oh, man. Said to drain spiritual and physical energy and lead people into habitual sexual sin. Wow. Pan, tradition Greco Roman, later demonized in Christian writings. The role is the lustful nature spirit, the god of fertility, often associated with wild and uninhibited sexuality. Okay? And that's a big problem amongst our people, man. They're absolutely obsessed with that. You know, they scroll on social media all day, look lusting after women. You know, the clothes that they wear leave little to the imagination. Okay, the music that's put out there, is that music that's put out there now is just designed to make you fucking worship these women, man. Okay, now let's get a couple scriptures. But yeah, the Lord is sifting the house of Israel. Oops. During these times, man. So we need to watch out for this. Amos 9:9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Okay? So the Lord is doing a giant spiritual sifting right now, man. And this is why we need to stay focused. And if we and if we're dealing with some of this stuff, man, we need to, the scriptures say to what? To pray and to fast. Okay? Conquer that shit, man. You know? We need to get these things under control. I know a lot of brothers have had uh, uh, alcohol demons on them, you know, drug demons. Okay, you know, demons dealing with eating unhealthy food and being slothful, okay, video games and all that shit. If you could overcome that, you could overcome a lust demon, man. You just gotta trust in the Lord, okay? A lot of us conquered a lot of those demons that I listed, man. We had those spirits that were fucking with us, man. A lot of us, when we were in the world, we might have had the justification demon on us, or we might have had a problem with alcohol or drugs, okay, or being slothful or unmotivated, okay, or lived unhealthy lifestyles. But as you grow in this truth, you overcome that stuff, man. I mean, just look at what the Lord did to Elazar, man. Okay, that should put fear in you. That should put fear in you. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Okay? Let's get this in Romans, the first chapter. Ooh. Mm. This is Romans 1 and 18. And this is exactly what happened with Elazar, man. This chapter right here. For the wrath of the Most High is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. So just because you came into the truth doesn't mean that you put away that old man and got rid of those unclean spirits in you, man. And it doesn't mean that you've battled them, okay? When they did jump on you, because they, which may be known of Yahweh, is manifest in them, for the Most High has showed it unto them. For the invisible things of Him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even His eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Okay? So there's really no excuse, man, because we know, what's going to happen. We know what's coming down the pipe, man. Okay, and we know the of the reward if we last into the end. Okay, and we have this knowledge, man. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, that a lot of men take for granted because that when they knew Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were thankful, but became vain. Right? There's a lot of guys in this truth that aren't really thankful for the blessings that they've received, man. This is a real gift to be able to understand this truth. Okay, this is like the gift of gifts. A lot of guys became disobedient to their parents, their spiritual parents, right? But became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. And that's Alazar, man. He thought he was the most studious, fucking smartest guy out there. And look what happened to him. All right? And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God unto an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore Yahweh Shem Yahshai also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lusts of their own hearts. The Pegasus thing, man. Okay? It's not just him. There's others out there that have them spirits on them, man. So if you're a brother in this truth, and you see what happened to that guy, the humiliation that he had to endure, right? Let that be a lesson to you, man. Let that be a lesson to you, man. Okay? To dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who change the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Okay? So the Lord gave him up to those vile affections. That's the way of these lust demons, man. They bring you into vile affections, man. You know, you start having weird, uh, disgusting sexual desires. You know, and in his case, the Lord had him in a position where he had multiple wives. Okay, in order to uh, and the Lord gave him a wife that would do that for him, man. Okay, and she ended up leaving his ass. The Lord put the spirit on his woman to go through with that, man, and he put the spirit on the one woman to record all that shit, man. Hey, man, all right. Let's get a couple more scriptures. First Peter 2:11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts which war against the soul. Okay, and that whole camp, not just Sakari, but the Genesis and the House of Bread. Those guys have all kinds of fleshly lust, man. They have that fucking uh uh gimmick demon on them. They have the lusts of money, lusts of women on them. Okay, having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, they may be your good works, which they shall behold, glorified the Most High in the day of visitation. Okay, so what kind of example was that? Okay, hang on one second, please. Oh, never mind. It's just loud music, man. This is Galatians 5:16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to the one to the other. So we got to walk in the Spirit, man. Notice how most of these that I'm bringing out are letters from Paul, which these guys disregard the writings of, okay? Whom these guys disregard the writings of. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, so it's a non-stop battle. But we got to make sure the Spirit wins, that we remain spiritual. Okay, when that one demon, and it gave it, and it was the one demon, I believe it was Astaroth or Asmodeus, that gave you into the carnal desires. Okay, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. Okay, so you got to check your thoughts all the time, man. I'm gonna get this is First Peter 4, actually 1. For as much then as Yahushua has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. Okay? That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of the Most High. Okay? So we have to put off that old man. All right? We have to put off that old man, man. We can't continue in the lifestyle that we were in when we were in the world. A lot of those guys are bringing that gang culture into this truth, man. No wonder why they're getting caught in all this bullshit. They never put that old man off. Okay? They're still living their towards they're still living their lives based on the lusts of men. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lusts, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. Okay? So that needs to be a thing in the past, man. We can't accompany that shit in here with the truth. Wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. And that's why they get on us, man. Okay? Because we don't follow the same path. We get on them for that nonsense, man. All right? But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up, brothers. I may do a follow up. Till next time, shalom. I hope you all are edified.